Toyota sells almost no EVs. I mean, the number of electric cars they sell worldwide make up less than 1% of their global car sales.
Is Toyota's refusal to go all in on electric vehicles the beginning of its downfall? Toyota, once the powerhouse of the automotive industry, is now at a critical juncture.
This is Toyota that has committed 8 trillion yen or $70 billion to electrify its automobiles by 2030.
For decades, the company was synonymous with reliability, fuel efficiency, and cutting-edge innovation. But now, as the electric vehicle (EV) revolution sweeps across the globe, Toyota finds itself stumbling. While competitors like Tesla, Volkswagen, and BYD charge ahead with bold, transformative EV strategies, Toyota's reluctance to fully embrace electrification has led to delays, slashed sales targets, and a growing sense that the company might be falling behind.
Question from a small number of dealers and about 30 customer calls to its call center. He described the impact as negligible.
The question is, can Toyota still catch up, or will it be left in the dust as the world moves toward a fully electric future? The EV U-turn, a shock to the industry. What happens when a giant like Toyota decides to pump the brakes on electric vehicles at the very moment the market is speeding up? Toyota's decision to cut back on its electric vehicle, EV, production plans shocked the industry. Initially, the company was committed to producing a significant number of EVs in the coming years.
Hey, when are we going to start to see the all-electric vehicles from Toyota? This will be the first one. This is a concept. It's pretty darn close to what you will see coming out and in showrooms next year.
Aiming for 1.5 million units by 2026. But reality hit. Toyota slashed those targets dramatically, revising their goal down to just 800,000. This isn't a minor tweak. It's a major strategic shift, and it signals that the company might be struggling to find its footing in the fast-moving EV market. The delays Toyota is facing are not just about production timelines. They're about the technology itself. After years of promising game-changing solid-state batteries that could revolutionize EVs, Toyota has continuously pushed back the release date. What was once expected to arrive in 2021 is now slated for 2028, or even 2030. This leaves Toyota trailing behind competitors who have already begun delivering EVs with impressive ranges, advanced battery technology, and ultra-fast charging capabilities. So, what does this mean for Toyota's future? As the world races towards electrification, Toyota's hesitance is starting to look like a dangerous gamble. They are still relying on their hybrid models, which, while popular, are becoming increasingly outdated in a world that's pushing for full electrification. If the company doesn't act quickly, it risks being left in the dust, not just in the US and Europe, but also in key emerging markets where EV adoption is surging. The company's decision to downsize its EV goals also raises questions about Toyota's ability to innovate. Despite being an industry leader for decades, Toyota now finds itself scrambling to keep up with the pace set by Tesla, Volkswagen, and other fast-moving EV manufacturers. If Toyota doesn't get its act together soon, it could lose its once unassailable position at the top of the automotive industry. The biggest concern here is that Toyota seems to be treating EVs as just another segment of its business, rather than embracing them as the future of mobility. This failure to fully commit could have disastrous consequences as global car sales continue to evolve toward fully electric options. So, can Toyota course correct? Or is it too late? Can Toyota overcome its hesitation and transform its strategy before it loses its place in the electric future? Or will it be outpaced by companies like Tesla and Volkswagen? The global EV market moves forward, with or without Toyota. While Toyota hesitates, the rest of the world is moving forward at lightning speed. Are they ready to leave Toyota behind? In 2022, nearly 56% of the vehicles sold in China were electric, a staggering increase in just a few years. Europe, too, is embracing the electric future, with sales of EVs up by more than 30%. By 2035, countries across Europe will only allow the sale of zero-emission vehicles. China, likewise, is rapidly expanding its EV market, with new models coming out every year. many of them offering cutting-edge technology that Toyota simply doesn't have. This is where Toyota's hesitation becomes a major problem. While other automakers race ahead with their electric car offerings, Toyota is still trying to figure out where it fits in. The company has doubled down on hybrids, but hybrids are quickly becoming a thing of the past. As governments across the world push for stricter emissions standards, hybrids are seen as a half measure, a compromise that doesn't align with the future of transportation. The problem for Toyota is that hybrids still rely on fossil fuels, and this isn't going to be acceptable for much longer. As the demand for fully electric vehicles continues to grow, Toyota's refusal to fully embrace this shift is a massive risk. What happens when the majority of car buyers no longer see hybrid cars as a viable solution? Toyota's current strategy may very well leave it on the sidelines as the EV revolution takes over. Moreover, the competition is fierce. Companies like Tesla and Volkswagen are already making massive strides in the EV market, with well-established platforms and impressive production capabilities. In comparison, Toyota's electric vehicle offerings seem outdated and lacking in key areas like charging speed, range, and battery technology. As global markets move toward a future dominated by electric cars, Toyota's slow pace could very well cause it to fall behind its competitors. One area where Toyota is playing catch-up is in the development of fast-charging technology and battery efficiency. Tesla, with its supercharger network, is already light years ahead in terms of charging infrastructure, while Toyota is still grappling with the basic principles of battery technology. If Toyota doesn't act fast, it risks being overtaken by newer, more nimble companies that are already capitalizing on the growing demand for EVs. Can Toyota catch up with the accelerating global demand for electric vehicles, or will it continue to lag behind its competitors? The Chinese EV threat. As China rises as the world leader in electric vehicles, Toyota faces the growing threat of being outperformed by its fiercest competitor. Toyota's decision to delay its electric vehicle production could be seen as a direct response to the increasing dominance of Chinese automakers in the global EV market. In China, EV sales have surged in recent years, and Chinese manufacturers like BYD, NEO, and XPeng are expanding rapidly both in terms of technology and global reach. These companies are already producing electric vehicles that compete with, and in some cases surpass, Toyota's offerings in terms of range, technology, and price. What's even more concerning for Toyota is that Chinese EVs are not just targeting local markets. They are starting to penetrate Europe, Asia, and even the US, and they're doing so with vehicles that offer incredible value for money. Chinese automakers have learned from the successes and failures of global EV giants like Tesla, and they are applying these lessons to create vehicles that are both affordable and highly competitive in terms of performance. BYD, for example, has already surpassed Tesla in terms of electric vehicle production, with impressive plans for expansion. NEO and XPeng are also showing no signs of slowing down, continuously innovating with new EV models that are equipped with cutting-edge battery technology and advanced software. These companies are pushing forward at breakneck speed, building global partnerships and strengthening their infrastructure at a pace Toyota simply cannot match right now. In contrast, Toyota has been lagging behind in the EV race. While the company has long been known for its commitment to hybrids, their hesitation to fully embrace the electric revolution has put them at risk. Toyota's slow rollout of competitive EVs and lack of bold innovation means it is losing ground not just to Tesla, but also to these fast-growing Chinese automakers. While Toyota was once the epitome of automotive innovation, it now finds itself at the mercy of competitors who are swiftly redefining the global automotive landscape. China's domestic EV market is growing at an exponential rate, fueled by government policies and incentives accelerating EV adoption. The Chinese government continues to support local EV manufacturers through subsidies, tax breaks, and investments in infrastructure like charging stations, giving them a significant edge in the global market. Meanwhile, Toyota's EV efforts have been underwhelming, particularly in terms of charging infrastructure and battery technology. The company's hesitancy to fully invest in the electric future might cost them their position in the market if they don't make bold changes soon. The reality is that Chinese automakers have already begun infiltrating Europe, Asia, and even the US, and they're doing so with vehicles that offer incredible value for money. With affordable prices and strong performance, these Chinese EVs are hard for consumers to resist. Toyota, by contrast, is still trying to figure out how to make a competitive EV that can match the performance and affordability of these Chinese alternatives. The question that Toyota faces now is whether they will remain content with their legacy, or if they'll finally take the necessary steps to compete in a rapidly evolving market. The pressure on Toyota is mounting, as the likes of BYD and NIO build market share and gain a reputation for delivering high-quality electric vehicles. Toyota is losing precious time. The company needs to decide whether it's willing to fight for its spot in the global EV race or risk being overtaken by these aggressive and well-funded competitors from China. What's at stake here is more than just market share. It's Toyota's very place in the future of the automotive industry. Can Toyota fend off the rising tide of Chinese electric vehicles, or will it be swept aside by more innovative and competitive players? The hybrid dilemma. Toyota's hybrid focus could be its Achilles heel in the race for full electrification. Are they stuck in the past, or is this a smart move for the future? Toyota's hybrid vehicles have been a major success, especially in markets like the US and Europe. Since the release of the Prius in 1997, Toyota has built a reputation for making fuel-efficient cars that offer a bridge between traditional gasoline-powered vehicles and fully electric models. The company has dominated the hybrid market for years, and for many, Toyota's name is synonymous with hybrid technology. However, as the world moves toward electric-only solutions, hybrids are quickly becoming obsolete, and Toyota's continued focus on them could be a major misstep. The problem for Toyota is that hybrids, while more fuel-efficient than traditional vehicles, still rely on gasoline engines. As governments around the world continue to push for zero-emission standards, the hybrid market is shrinking. Even if hybrids help reduce emissions to some extent, they're still a far cry from the clean, green future that electric vehicles promise. Toyota's resistance to fully committing to electrification could be a dangerous gamble in an automotive industry that is quickly turning away from fossil fuels. Hybrids were once a great compromise, a way to appease consumers who weren't quite ready to make the leap to fully electric vehicles. But as the world begins to embrace full electrification, hybrids are quickly becoming a temporary solution, a bridge that no longer serves its purpose. By doubling down on hybrids, Toyota risks being seen as a company stuck in the past, clinging to an outdated technology, while competitors push forward with electric vehicles that are rapidly gaining consumer favor. Toyota's decision to maintain its hybrid-heavy strategy is a sign that the company may not yet fully grasp the seismic shift taking place in the global automotive market. The market for fully electric vehicles is growing faster than ever, with companies like Tesla, Volkswagen, and General Motors leading the charge. Consumers are increasingly demanding electric-only options, and governments around the world are setting firm deadlines for phasing out gasoline and diesel cars. In 2035, Europe will no longer allow the sale of new gasoline or diesel cars, and China, the world's largest car market, is expected to follow suit. As the shift toward full electrification accelerates, Toyota's reliance on hybrids could be its undoing. Despite their success, Toyota's hybrids are not enough to sustain the company in the long run. As the world moves toward fully electric vehicles, Toyota will have to rework its strategy to focus on EVs if it wants to stay competitive. The company needs to shift its focus from hybrid technology to full electric mobility, or risk being left behind in a market that is quickly becoming dominated by electric vehicles. But will Toyota make the leap? Or will it continue to focus on a niche that is rapidly shrinking? If Toyota doesn't fully embrace electric vehicles soon, it may be too late. In fact, some critics argue that Toyota's hesitation to invest in EVs could be its downfall. As other automakers aggressively develop electric car platforms, Toyota's hybrid-first approach is starting to look like a dead end. The company needs to recognize that the future of mobility lies in full electrification, not hybrids. The world's car buyers have spoken, and they want electric cars. The question is, will Toyota be ready when they arrive? Is Toyota's focus on hybrids a smart strategy for the future, or is it simply delaying the inevitable shift to full electrification? The road ahead. Will Toyota recover from its slow EV rollout, or is the company's reluctance to fully embrace electric mobility the reason for its downfall? Toyota's future in the electric vehicle market is hanging by a thread. The company's slow approach to electrification is starting to look like a fatal flaw in an industry that is quickly evolving. As consumers increasingly demand electric cars, Toyota must adapt or face irrelevance in a market where speed and innovation are key. Despite having a head start with hybrids, Toyota is now behind in the race for electric vehicles, and time is running out. The company's strategy of gradual EV adoption isn't going to be enough to keep up with the competition. Toyota will need to invest heavily in electric vehicle platforms, batteries, and infrastructure if it hopes to compete with companies like Tesla, Volkswagen, and other emerging EV manufacturers. The electric vehicle market is a rapidly changing landscape, and Toyota's slow-moving approach could leave the company stranded on the sidelines. One of Toyota's biggest obstacles is its lack of a cohesive electric vehicle strategy. Unlike Tesla, which has committed fully to electric vehicles from the beginning, Toyota seems reluctant to embrace the future of transportation. The company continues to focus on hybrids and plug-in hybrids, which might help for now, but they won't be enough to survive the electric revolution. Toyota needs to develop a fully electric lineup of vehicles that can compete with Tesla's high-performance cars, not just in terms of range, but also in terms of technology, affordability, and charging speed. To succeed in the EV market, Toyota will need to overhaul its manufacturing processes, rethink its approach to battery technology, and invest in the charging infrastructure necessary to support a large-scale EV rollout. The competition is already well ahead. Tesla's supercharger network is unmatched, and its electric vehicle platforms are constantly being improved. Meanwhile, Toyota's vehicles are still lagging behind in terms of performance, design, and innovation. So what's next for Toyota? The company can either continue to drag its feet and risk losing its position in the market, or it can make bold, decisive moves to ensure that it remains relevant in the electric age. Toyota's future depends on whether it can reinvent itself as an electric vehicle powerhouse. The company must recognize the urgency of the moment and act fast, or risk being left behind by companies that have already embraced the future. Can Toyota turn things around in time to stay relevant in the electric vehicle race, or has it already missed the boat? The Toyota brand struggle. Toyota's brand has been synonymous with reliability and practicality, but as the auto industry rapidly shifts toward electrification, can the company maintain its reputation without fully embracing electric vehicles? For decades, Toyota has built its reputation on producing cars that are reliable, affordable, and practical. Their vehicles have been the choice for millions of consumers worldwide, particularly in markets like the US and Europe, where customers prize value and longevity. Toyota's hybrid offerings, like the Prius, have been some of the most successful in history. However, as the automotive world embraces the electric future, the question is, can Toyota maintain its reputation if it continues to hold back on fully electric vehicles? The Toyota brand has long been seen as a pioneer of fuel efficiency and environmentally friendly technology, particularly through its hybrid lineup. But with more countries around the world implementing stricter emissions regulations and pushing for zero-emission vehicles, Toyota's hybrid-focused strategy may no longer be enough. In fact, Toyota risks becoming synonymous with lagging behind rather than leading the way when it comes to sustainable transportation. In contrast, brands like Tesla, Rivian, and Volkswagen are boldly staking their claim in the EV market. Tesla, with its cutting-edge technology, has revolutionized what it means to drive an electric car. Volkswagen's ID series is gaining traction in Europe, and even traditional automakers like Ford and GM have committed to fully electric lineups in the near future. These brands are quickly becoming the face of the electric revolution, while Toyota is still trying to figure out how to position itself in an EV-dominated market. The problem for Toyota is that it's not just playing catch-up with electric vehicles, it's also struggling to communicate its shift to sustainability. While Toyota's hybrids were once the go-to option for eco-conscious drivers, electric vehicles have now surpassed them in terms of innovation, efficiency, and, increasingly, affordability. In today's market, consumers want fully electric vehicles, and the longer Toyota delays embracing that shift, the more out of touch it seems with consumer desires. Toyota's brand has always been about providing dependable, cost-effective options to the mass market. But as the demand for fully electric vehicles continues to grow, Toyota must find a way to adapt and pivot its brand to align with this new reality. The challenge for Toyota is not just making electric cars, it's making them in a way that feels true to its brand identity while also staying competitive in a rapidly changing market. The reluctance to fully embrace EVs has started to affect the perception of Toyota's brand in the eyes of consumers. Young drivers, particularly those looking for eco-friendly transportation solutions, are increasingly drawn to brands that offer all-electric options with cutting-edge technology. Toyota has yet to provide a strong electric vehicle to capture the attention of this key demographic. Its focus on hybrids, while still a step forward, is becoming less appealing as full electrification becomes the mainstream choice. Toyota's brand power lies in its ability to deliver high-quality, practical vehicles to the masses. But can the company continue to maintain that power in a world that is shifting away from traditional vehicles in favor of EVs? Can Toyota transition smoothly into the electric age, or will it be left behind by more forward-thinking companies? The stakes are high, and Toyota must act quickly if it hopes to remain a leader in the automotive industry. Can Toyota reinvent itself as an electric powerhouse, or will its reputation for reliability be overshadowed by a failure to innovate in the electric vehicle market? The Toyota EV gamble. Toyota is taking a huge gamble by betting against the tide of electrification. Will this strategy pay off, or is it the beginning of the end for the company's dominance in the automotive industry? Toyota's decision to delay its electric vehicle push is a calculated gamble that could define its future in the automotive industry. While some might argue that the company is simply playing it safe, others believe it could be a recipe for disaster. As the electric vehicle market grows at a rapid pace, Toyota's hesitation to fully commit to EVs may be setting it up for failure. The question is, will this gamble pay off, or will Toyota's conservative approach leave it vulnerable to more agile competitors? By hesitating on electric vehicles, Toyota is attempting to hold on to its hybrid market dominance. The company believes that hybrid technology will continue to be relevant in the near future, but as governments around the world accelerate the transition to zero-emission vehicles, the hybrid market is shrinking. Toyota's gamble is that hybrid vehicles will remain viable, even as EVs take center stage. But this could be a dangerous bet if consumer preferences and government regulations move faster than expected. Toyota's hesitation is particularly surprising, given the company's track record of being a technological leader in the past. Toyota's commitment to hybrid technology with the Prius made it a global leader in eco-friendly transportation. However, the world has moved on, and while Toyota has taken a cautious approach to EVs, companies like Tesla, Volkswagen, and even newer players like Rivian are gaining market share with cutting-edge electric vehicles. These companies have built electric vehicle platforms from the ground up, while Toyota has been trying to retrofit its existing hybrid platforms for EV production. Another key challenge for Toyota is that its EV plans are now at the mercy of an increasingly competitive global market. Countries like China are pushing hard to transition to electric vehicles, and Chinese automakers have already gained significant ground in global markets. Toyota's hesitation to invest heavily in EVs may be giving Chinese automakers a huge advantage. As these companies gain more experience in manufacturing and selling electric vehicles, Toyota risks falling further behind. The automotive market is shifting rapidly toward electric vehicles, and Toyota's cautious strategy may no longer be enough to ensure its success. The company has a lot of ground to make up in terms of EV technology, and with aggressive players like Tesla, Volkswagen, and Chinese automakers making massive strides, Toyota's bet on hybrids and slow-moving electric development could leave it vulnerable. The automotive industry is evolving quickly, and Toyota needs to decide if it will continue playing catch-up or if it will finally take bold steps to lead the way in the electric future. As Toyota grapples with its slow EV rollout, it's becoming increasingly clear that the company needs to take a hard look at its strategy. The longer Toyota waits, the further it risks falling behind in the race for EV dominance. Can Toyota turn its strategy around in time, or will its reluctance to fully embrace electrification ultimately be its downfall? Can Toyota's gamble on hybrids and a slow EV rollout lead to success? Or will the company miss the electrification wave and suffer a massive setback? Toyota's crossroads. With the electric vehicle market rapidly gaining ground, Toyota now faces a critical crossroads. Will it adapt to the future, or will its resistance to full electrification lead to its downfall? Toyota's situation is more precarious than ever. The company is now at a critical crossroads, with its future in the electric vehicle market hanging in the balance. On one hand, Toyota has established itself as the leader in hybrid technology, and its vehicles continue to dominate traditional markets. On the other hand, the world is changing, and the demand for fully electric vehicles is growing at an unprecedented rate. Toyota's reluctance to embrace this shift could leave the company on the wrong side of history. The question now is whether Toyota will continue down its current path, relying heavily on hybrid technology, or whether it will pivot toward fully embracing electrification. The company's strategy of gradual EV adoption may have worked in the past, but with the automotive landscape evolving rapidly, it is no longer enough. The future of the automotive industry is electric, and Toyota's hesitance to adapt could leave it at a distinct disadvantage in the long term. As global markets demand more sustainable transportation options, Toyota's failure to commit fully to electric vehicles could harm its reputation. The company's conservative approach to EVs is starting to look like a liability, especially as other automakers invest heavily in electric car platforms and infrastructure. Toyota has a chance to reinvent itself and lead the way in electric mobility, but this will require a dramatic shift in strategy, a reimagining of its brand, and substantial investments in new technology. Toyota must ask itself, can it continue to be the dominant force in the automotive world if it doesn't fully embrace electrification? The company has been successful at navigating the transition from traditional vehicles to hybrids, but the next step, transitioning to fully electric cars, will be a much bigger challenge. Toyota's reluctance to take this step may be costing it dearly, and if the company doesn't act quickly, it could lose its leadership position in the global market. The reality is that Toyota is facing fierce competition from both established automakers and newer startups, all of which are betting heavily on electric vehicles. Toyota's hesitation to invest in EV technology could leave it unable to compete with these more agile players. The company may find itself in the unenviable position of trying to play catch-up with companies that are already miles ahead in the race for electrification. The time for gradual change has passed. Toyota must decide whether it will seize the opportunity to embrace the electric revolution or whether it will continue to risk falling behind in an industry that is rapidly evolving. The future of Toyota depends on its ability to make this pivotal decision, and time is running out. Will Toyota make the leap to fully embrace electrification, or will its hesitation and reliance on hybrids be the downfall of one of the world's most iconic car manufacturers? Toyota's electric dilemma. As Toyota faces the harsh realities of the rapidly changing automotive landscape, the company finds itself at a crossroads. Its delay in adopting electric vehicles and its continued reliance on hybrid technology may have served it well in the past, but the future is electric, and Toyota's refusal to fully embrace this shift could leave it trailing behind more nimble competitors. From the meteoric rise of Chinese EV manufacturers to the relentless push for electrification in Europe and beyond, Toyota is at risk of losing its grip on the global automotive stage. Toyota's hybrid strategy, while still relevant for some markets, is rapidly becoming obsolete as governments push for zero-emission solutions and consumers demand fully electric vehicles. The competition is fierce, and brands like Tesla, Volkswagen, and various Chinese automakers are aggressively positioning themselves as the future of the automotive industry. Toyota's inability to keep pace with these changes could cost the company dearly in the long run. The question now is whether Toyota can pivot and adopt a fully electric future in time to maintain its dominance, or if its reluctance will lead to a gradual decline. The company's hesitance to fully invest in electric vehicle infrastructure, coupled with its delayed rollout of competitive EVs, suggests that Toyota may be missing the boat on what is undoubtedly the future of the automotive world. If Toyota doesn't make drastic changes and invest heavily in EV technology, it risks becoming irrelevant in a market where speed, innovation, and sustainability are paramount. The next decade will be crucial for Toyota's survival in the automotive world. Will it catch up, or will it be overtaken by companies that have embraced the electric revolution? Thanks for joining us as we explored Toyota's EV challenges and the shifting dynamics of the automotive industry. Do you think Toyota can turn its strategy around and lead the way in electric vehicles? Or will it continue to fall behind as the world moves toward a fully electrified future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more insights into the ever-changing world of automotive technology, and stay tuned for our next deep dive into the future of transportation.